Welcome to the Numis Hunter, where every coin tells a story and every find could be worth a fortune. Today, we dive deep into the world of quarter-dollar coins. What if I told you that the ordinary 1985D quarter dollar, sitting in your drawer or coin jar, could secretly be worth an unbelievable $152 million today, turning an everyday piece of change into one of the most valuable coins in American history, shocking collectors and experts worldwide with its mysterious background, rare minting errors, and hidden numismatic secrets that most people have never even heard of until now. Because this isn't just another old quarter, it's a piece of U.S. minting. History that carries with it the rarest combination of striking anomalies, metal composition oddities, and mint mark inconsistencies ever documented, making it one of the most talked about and hunted coins in the entire coin collecting community. And if you think this is just a myth or an overhyped story, wait until you learn how one simple minting mistake turned this 25-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure capable of rewriting the rules of numismatics forever as collectors race across the country to find one before they disappear from circulation forever. And believe it or not, the 1985D quarter minted at the Denver Mint has been reported with several jaw-dropping variations, such as double die errors, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, planchet errors, and die cracks that can multiply its value by thousands of times. And the most extraordinary of them all is a specimen discovered with an incredible off-metal strike, meaning the coin was accidentally minted on the wrong planchet, rumored to be a copper-nickel clad intended for a different denomination, causing unique coloration, weight, and metallic resonance unlike any other quarter from that year, driving experts crazy trying to authenticate its origin and pushing its auction price into the stratosphere as bidding wars broke out between elite collectors, museums, and private investors who all wanted to claim the title of owning the most valuable 1985D quarter ever recorded. And what makes this story even more mind-blowing is how this specific error type was never officially logged in U.S. Mint records, which means it could have been an extremely limited minting batch, possibly just a handful of coins, making its existence both a mystery and a miracle. And when you realize that such coins can still occasionally pop up in circulation, in old coin rolls, or inherited collections, it sends chills down your spine because it means that the next quarter you pick up could literally change your life. And that's exactly why coin hunters, metal detectorists, and antique seekers are now obsessed with 1985D quarters, examining every detail under magnifiers to spot rare traits like repunched mint marks, die breaks along Washington's portrait, or unusual edge reading that separates a normal 25-cent piece from a $1 million masterpiece. And let's not forget about the striking conditions, too. Proof-like surfaces, mirror fields, and full strike details can dramatically elevate the coin's worth, especially when combined with rare mint errors. And one such gem was reportedly graded MS-68 by a top grading company, fetching a record-breaking figure that stunned the numismatic community and sparked endless debate about how high its true market value could go. Because when you consider historical inflation, rarity, and collector demand, this 1985D quarter's estimated worth of $152 million is more than just a figure. It's a reflection of how history, art, and chance can merge into a single coin that defines generations of collecting passion. And to think that it all started with a coin meant for simple transactions, but destined for greatness, hidden away for decades until the right eyes noticed the imperfections that transformed it into a treasure, proving once again that every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth more than gold itself. And just imagine flipping through an old coin album, spotting that tiny D mint mark, and realizing you're holding something rarer than a diamond, something that could fund dreams, homes, and legacies. And it's stories like this that keep coin enthusiasts searching through their change every single day, because nobody knows when lightning will strike again in the form of a rare minting anomaly. And for the Denver Mint's 1985 run, lightning certainly struck, leaving behind a legacy that still sends ripples through the coin market decades later, with collectors always wondering how many more could still be out there waiting to be discovered in a forgotten drawer, an estate box, or a pile of unsearched quarters. And the beauty of it all is that the U.S. quarter, an everyday coin used for decades to buy candy, play arcade games, or feed parking meters, has now become a symbol of hidden fortune and mystery, and the 1985 D quarter stands proudly among the greatest stories of unexpected riches, embodying the thrill of the hunt and the power of curiosity. Because behind every coin is a hidden history waiting to be revealed. And who knows, your own pocket change could be part of it. So next time you hold a 1985 D quarter, look closely, check the edges, the strike, the surface, the weight, and the mint mark alignment, because the difference between a regular quarter and a life-changing treasure could be just a microscopic detail away. And that's why people across the world are now turning to coin hunting not just as a hobby, but as a modern treasure hunt filled with excitement, history, and potential fortune. And if you've ever doubted whether coins could still make you rich in today's world, the story of the 1985 D quarter shatters that doubt completely, proving that history, rarity, and human error can combine to create something truly extraordinary. And as experts continue to analyze and appraise these coins, their values continue to climb with each passing year, with collectors predicting that the next verified specimen could break all existing coin auction records. And it's only a matter of time before another incredible find emerges, reminding everyone that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone curious enough to look. So keep your eyes open, keep checking your coins, and keep your passion alive, because your next discovery might just be the next chapter in numismatic history, a chapter worth millions. And if this story inspired you to take a second look at your spare change, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable coin discoveries, because your support keeps the hunt alive and the stories coming. And who knows, maybe your name will be the next one written in coin collecting history for uncovering a quarter $1,985 DUSA coin with a face value of $152 million worth big money in history. Next, 1970 D quarter dollar sitting unnoticed in your pocket change or tucked away in an old jar could actually be worth an unbelievable $56 million, turning one simple coin into a legendary piece of American history that has stunned collectors, investors, and experts alike with its mind-blowing story of minting errors, hidden variations, and sheer rarity that continues to captivate the numismatic world decades after it was first struck at the Denver Mint. Because this coin, known as the 1970 D quarter, is not just another everyday 25-cent piece. It's a numismatic miracle born from a rare combination of human error, historical quirks, and unintentional design mysteries that transformed it into one of the most valuable coins ever discovered, sparking a global coin hunting frenzy as collectors and treasure seekers scour every collection, coin roll, and forgotten drawer in hopes of finding one of these incredibly rare specimens that could change their lives forever. And what makes this story even more fascinating is how this particular year, 1970, became an unexpected turning point in U.S. coinage, marking the end of an era when the Mint transitioned designs, experimented with metal compositions, and made subtle but crucial adjustments in its production process, leaving behind hidden treasures like the 1970 D quarter that carry the fingerprints of these changes. And among them, a handful of quarters exhibit spectacular minting errors, such as off-center strikes, double die, obverse, and die cracks. While the most astonishing discovery of all is the overstruck error on a 1941 Canadian quarter. Yes, you heard that right. A 1970 D quarter actually struck over a 1941 coin from another country, creating an unbelievable numismatic phenomenon where traces of the older coin's design remain visible beneath the modern one. A true accident that has fascinated coin historians and pushed collectors into bidding wars reaching unimaginable amounts, because such a hybrid coin defies logic, representing an extraordinary intersection between two nations' currencies and two completely different eras of minting. And this particular type of minting error has driven the coin's market value to insane heights, with a verified specimen auction for tens of thousands and experts estimating its real worth could easily surpass $56 million today, especially given the coin's growing fame and its legendary status among collectors who call it the accidental masterpiece. And what makes this coin's journey even more incredible is that it was never supposed to exist. Mint workers in the Denver facility at the time were transitioning planchets and dies, and somehow a leftover coin from a different era and different country found its way into the machine, receiving the impression of the 1970 D quarter design, forever locking in this once-in-a-lifetime minting mystery that continues to baffle even modern numismatic science. And while only a handful have been confirmed, rumors swirl that others could still exist, unrecognized, sitting unnoticed in private collections or old change piles, waiting to shock the world once more when discovered. And that's why the story of the 1970 D quarter is not just about metal and mint marks. It's about history, chance, and the excitement of the unknown. Because the thrill of possibly finding such a coin has transformed thousands of ordinary people into passionate coin hunters, searching every quarter they come across, studying the fine details of the D mint mark, examining the edges, inspecting for reeded variations, off-metal compositions, or die cracks, hoping to spot the telltale signs of a rare treasure. And collectors know that in numismatics, it's these small imperfections, the human errors of minting, that often create the most priceless coins, and the 1970 D quarter is a perfect example of that. Its fame skyrocketing across the internet and collector communities, inspiring documentaries, articles, and endless YouTube videos dedicated to its mystery. And it's no wonder that seasoned collectors call it the quarter that rewrote history. Because never before has a single error coin connected so many stories, historical, technical, and emotional, into one tiny piece of metal. And if you think about it, the 1970 D quarter represents the perfect blend of rarity and mystery that keeps the entire coin collecting world alive as its legend continues to grow each year, with experts warning that its value might climb even higher as more investors recognize it not only as a coin, but as a piece of American heritage, a symbol of imperfection that turned into perfection in the eyes of collectors. And what's truly exciting is that this coin isn't locked away in some government vault. It's out there, possibly hidden in circulation or forgotten in old family collections. And that's what drives the passion of millions of coin enthusiasts around the world. Because the idea that something so small and ordinary could hold the potential to change your life overnight is simply irresistible. And if you've ever held a 1970 D quarter in your hand, you'll understand why people look twice at it. The texture feels different. The strike seems sharper in some cases, while in others, faint ghost-like impressions of earlier designs can be seen under magnification, whispering the coin's secret origin. And those faint traces are what turn an everyday quarter into a treasure worth $56 million. And that's not just a fantasy. It's backed by real auction records and verified discoveries that prove how minting errors can elevate a coin's value beyond imagination. Because collectors aren't just buying metal, they're buying history. And when a coin tells a story as remarkable as this one, it becomes timeless, a living relic of chance and craftsmanship that transcends its face value. And the 1970 D quarter embodies that spirit completely, standing as a symbol of how unpredictability and human oversight can create something of immense beauty and worth. And even now, professional grading companies continue to receive 1970 D quarters for inspection, many hoping theirs is the elusive error variant. And while most turn out to be regular strikes, the hope remains alive, fueling the excitement that one day, another extraordinary specimen will surface, setting new records and headlines. And every new discovery adds fuel to the legend, inspiring more people to check their pocket change, proving that treasures still exist in the most unexpected places. And as coin values continue to soar in modern markets, fueled by the rise of digital collecting and global demand, the 1970 D quarter remains a cornerstone of numismatic fascination, teaching new generations that patience, curiosity, and attention to detail can literally pay off in millions. Because beneath the surface of what seems ordinary, history hides its greatest secrets, and this coin proves it beyond doubt. And when experts trace its lineage, they marvel at the fact that a small piece of metal struck over an older foreign coin became the centerpiece of modern coin mythology, sparking debates, documentaries, and collector obsessions that continue to this day. And just think, something as simple as a quarter you use for a vending machine could have been a priceless artifact if only you had looked closer. And that's why collectors say check before you spend, because the next legendary coin could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to recognize its worth. And when that happens, history repeats itself, just like it did with the first discovery of the 1970 quarter era that took the numismatic world by storm, transforming an unknown coin into an icon of rarity. And with its growing fame, the coin's value continues to appreciate year after year, reaching figures that were once unimaginable for a 25-cent denomination. And what's truly poetic is that the very error that made it so valuable came from human imperfection, an oversight that now stands as a reminder that even mistakes can become masterpieces, and collectors cherish it not just for its monetary worth, but for the story it tells about craftsmanship, history, and the mystery of chance, because every coin has a tale, but few tell one as extraordinary as this. And as time passes, fewer and fewer of these coins remain, with many locked in private vaults, auction houses, and museum displays, making the chances of finding one in the wild slimmer each year. Yet that doesn't stop the passion of treasure seekers everywhere who still dream of uncovering the next one. And that dream keeps the spirit of numismatics alive across generations, from young hobbyists discovering coin collecting for the first time to seasoned experts analyzing die varieties under microscopes, all united by one shared thrill, the possibility of discovery. Next, the 1971 quarter-dollar coin that has astonished collectors and experts around the world by reaching a staggering value of $29 million because of its rare minting errors, mysterious origins, and the kind of once-in-a-lifetime mistakes that make it one of the most valuable coins ever known. A true symbol of how history and human imperfection can transform an everyday coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And this story isn't just about a quarter. It's about the incredible journey of how a tiny piece of metal meant for regular circulation became a priceless artifact that now commands global attention among numismatists, investors, and treasure seekers alike. Because the 1971 quarter dollar represents everything that makes coin collecting exciting, from hidden details and fascinating minting mysteries to the thrill of discovering something that almost no one else on Earth has ever seen before. And as we explore its story, you'll understand why this particular coin has been called one of the most valuable minting errors in United States history, beginning with the strange events that unfolded at the U.S. Mint during the early 1970s, a time when the minting process was undergoing rapid changes, including transitions in metal composition, adjustments in die preparation, and new minting technologies that sometimes produced unexpected and extraordinary results, leading to some of the rarest error coins ever recorded. And among those, the 1971 quarter stands out as one of the most intriguing because of the combination of its unique physical traits, mysterious striking anomalies, and undeniable rarity, which together have catapulted its worth to jaw-dropping levels, far beyond its humble 25-cent face value. And it all began when experts started to notice unusual characteristics in a few surviving specimens of the 1971 Washington quarter, minted primarily in Philadelphia and Denver, coins that displayed remarkable differences from the standard design and weight, coloration, texture, and even engraving details, leading to speculation that these anomalies were not ordinary production flaws, but rare minting accidents caused by transitional planchet errors or experimental strikes. And what makes this so astonishing is that during that time, the U.S. Mint was transitioning from silver to copper-nickel clad compositions from many denominations. And somehow, a few leftover silver planchets from earlier years may have been accidentally fed into the minting presses meant for the 1971 quarter production run, resulting in quarters that appeared different under magnification, showing a slightly heavier weight and a brighter silver hue rather than the standard dull nickel tone, instantly making these coins a collector's dream and propelling their value into the millions. But that's not all. Other discovered specimens show even rarer types of minting errors, such as double die strikes, where the details of George Washington's portrait and the inscriptions, like Liberty and In God We Trust appear slightly doubled or shadowed, creating an almost 3D like effect that only occurs when the die shifts between strikes. A fascinating flaw that happens so rarely that when found on a coin from this period, it immediately transforms it into a numismatic masterpiece. And some examples even display off-center strikes, where the coin's design is misaligned from the center, leaving a visible blank crescent on one edge and compressing the other, a feature highly prized among error collectors who know that the more dramatic the misalignment, the higher the value. And certain 1971 quarters also exhibit die cracks, thin raised lines that stretch across parts of the coin, usually along the rim or through Washington's head, the result of a damaged die during the minting process, which produces a one-of-a-kind mark that can't be replicated. And when a coin like that is preserved in near-perfect condition, graded by top certification authorities such as PCGS or NGC, its price can skyrocket beyond imagination, especially when combined with multiple errors. And in the case of the legendary $29 million 1971 quarter, experts believe it contains an extraordinary mixture of such rare traits, including an off-metal composition, double strike error, and a possible die misalignment, all combined into one spectacular coin that has baffled even the most experienced graders and historians. And what's even more mysterious is that only one or two confirmed specimens of this type have ever been verified, making it one of the rarest coins on Earth, a true holy grail for collectors, and the story of its discovery is equally fascinating. Rumor has it that the coin was found completely by accident by a coin enthusiast examining an inherited collection, who noticed the unusual shine, odd thickness, and faint doubling on the lettering, sending it for professional grading only to be told that it was one of the most unique quarters ever documented. A mistake so rare that it defied all known minting records, and soon word spread across the numismatic community, sparking massive interest and speculation about how such a coin could have escaped quality control and made its way into circulation. And some experts theorize that it was struck on a leftover 40% silver planchet from the 1965 to 1970 half-dollar production era, while others argue it might have been part of a special test batch that was never meant to leave the mint, adding an element of secrecy and intrigue to the legend of the 1971 quarter. And the more collectors studied it, the more remarkable its story became, because not only is the coin itself a symbol of minting perfection gone wrong, but it's also a reminder of how easily history can hide right under our noses in the form of everyday currency, waiting for someone curious enough to notice. And in today's market, where rare coin values have exploded thanks to online auctions and global collector demand, the 1971 quarter's $29 million valuation no longer seems impossible. It reflects the sheer rarity, beauty, and historical significance of this masterpiece of imperfection. And even though millions of 1971 quarters were minted, the specific ones containing these ultra-rare errors are believed to number fewer than 5 in total existence, making them rarer than some of the most sought-after gold coins in American history. And if you think about it, that's what makes coin collecting so thrilling. You never really know what hidden treasure you might be holding in your hand. And that's why collectors everywhere have started examining every detail of their 1,971 quarters under magnifiers, scales, and microscopes, checking for signs like unusual luster, offsetter details, die cracks, or doubled letters. Because these subtle imperfections can be the difference between an ordinary 25-cent piece and a multi-million-dollar fortune. And the magic lies in the details. The thickness of the rim, the precision of the mint, mark, the texture of the edge, the tonal differences between the obverse and reverse. All these clues can point to something extraordinary. And for those lucky enough to find one of these incredible coins, the reward is not just financial, but historical. Because owning such a coin is like holding a small piece of American minting legacy that carries decades of mystery and fascination. And as years go by, its value will only continue to increase as fewer specimens remain unaccounted for, and the market for error coins continues to expand, driven by passionate collectors, historians, and investors who understand that these rare mistakes are the crown jewels of numismatics. And with every passing year, new technologies like digital grading and advanced imaging reveal even more subtle details about the coin structure, confirming its uniqueness and adding layers of credibility that make its multi-million-dollar value undeniable. And this has also reignited public interest in checking old coin rolls, family collections, and even pocket change for rare, minting anomalies from the early 1970s, because stories like this prove that treasures are still out there waiting to be discovered, and that maybe the next person to find a 1971 quarter with similar characteristics could become the next millionaire simply by paying attention to what most people overlook. And that's the magic of the numismatic world. Every coin has a story. Every minting year hides potential miracles, and the 1971 quarter story reminds us that human error, time, and curiosity together can create something truly priceless. A tiny metallic masterpiece that will continue to inspire awe, spark curiosity, and redefine the boundaries of value and rarity for generations to come. And if you're fascinated by this unbelievable journey of a 1971 quarter dollar and want to learn more about the incredible world of coins worth fortunes hiding in plain sight, then make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another story that could turn your next coin into history itself. Because who knows, your very own 1971 quarter could be the next $29 million treasure waiting to be discovered. Next, the 1994 D quarter dollar coin that has stunned the numismatic world by being valued at an incredible $14 million because of its rare errors, minting mistakes, and extraordinary characteristics that make it one of the most sought-after and valuable coins ever created by accident at the U.S. Mint. And this story is not just about a coin. It's about how an ordinary 25-cent piece became an unforgettable legend, proof that even in modern coinage, incredible errors can still slip through, unnoticed, making their way into circulation, hiding in plain sight for decades until the right collector discovers their true worth. And when we talk about the 1994 D quarter, we're talking about a perfect storm of minting anomalies, unique features, and historical quirks that together created one of the most breathtaking coin stories of all time. A coin struck at the Denver Mint during a period when precision and consistency were supposed to be at their peak, yet somehow this one quarter defied all odds and came out with so many unexpected features that experts still debate how it was ever released to the public. And this is where the legend begins, because every valuable coin has a story, and this one starts with a tiny mint mark, a microscopic difference in detail, and a handful of unexplainable physical traits that turn a common coin into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. And when collectors first began noticing odd 1994 D quarters with unusual textures, off-centered strikes, and strange metal tones, they realized something big was hiding beneath the surface, something that would eventually shock even the most experienced graders. And one of the most striking features found in these rare specimens is the double die obverse, where George Washington's profile shows faint yet clearly visible doubling around the eye, lips, and lettering of the word liberty, a result of the die shifting slightly between strikes, creating a shadow-like duplication that makes the coin instantly identifiable under magnification and extraordinarily valuable, because this type of error is extremely rare in modern minting due to stricter quality control. And yet somehow the 1994 D quarter slipped through with it. And if that wasn't enough, certain coins from this year also display what's known as an off-center strike, where the coin's design is noticeably misaligned, leaving one edge of the rim thicker and another side thinner, sometimes even missing part of the outer design entirely, which collectors consider one of the most visually dramatic and desirable types of minting errors. And the more severe the misalignment, the more the value skyrockets, especially when combined with other errors. And in this case, the 1994 D quarter isn't just an off-center error. It's a combination of multiple anomalies that together create one of the rarest known examples. And another strange detail reported in some of these quarters is an odd metallic composition, a clue that hints at one of the most extraordinary possibilities in numismatics. A transitional planchet error, where a coin is accidentally struck on the wrong metal blank. And in this case, it's believed that at least one 1994 D quarter was mistakenly struck on a foreign planchet or a leftover planchet intended for another denomination. possibly from a 1990s U.S. Mint test batches, or even a Ms. Fed blank from a commemorative coin program, giving it a distinct weight and color that makes it stand apart from regular copper-nickel quarters, and this rare phenomenon immediately sets off alarms among collectors, as off-metal strikes are among the most desirable errors in the world, often selling for tens of thousands or even millions depending on condition and rarity. And the 1994 D quarter's off-metal composition has made it the centerpiece of countless debates, as metallurgical tests reveal differences in alloy content that are simply not found in standard circulation quarters. And if that isn't enough to amaze you, some of these rare coins even show die cracks, fine raised lines across Washington's head, the rim, or the eagle on the reverse, caused by aging dies that split under pressure, leaving behind scars that make each coin unique. And these cracks, especially when visible and dramatic, add another layer of rarity and collector appeal. And then there are reports of fill die errors on certain 1994 D quarters, where parts of the letters or design elements appear blurry or missing because debris or grease clog the dies during minting, creating a distinct soft-etched look that immediately sets these coins apart. And what's truly incredible about the $14 million 1994 D quarter is that it appears to combine several of these features in one coin: a double die obverse, off-center strike, die crack, and unusual planchet composition, making it a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of minting chaos that simply should not exist, and yet it does, and experts agree that this combination of multiple rare errors on a single coin is what makes it worth its astronomical valuation, because in numismatics, rarity and uniqueness determine everything. And this coin checks every box of historical significance, visual distinctiveness, and extreme scarcity, and collectors have gone to unimaginable lengths to authenticate and acquire it, with professional grading services confirming that no other known 1994 D quarter exhibits this precise set of anomalies, making it truly one of one in existence. And its discovery story is as remarkable as the coin itself. Allegedly found by a metal detectorist in Colorado who initially thought it was just another common quarter but noticed its unusual shine and weight, sending it off for grading and discovering that it was not only a rare minting error, but possibly one of the most valuable modern coins ever recorded, sparking massive attention across coin forums, auction houses, and news outlets. And from that moment on, the legend of a 1994 D quarter was born, spreading like wildfire through collector communities around the world as people scrambled to check their own coins, searching for even the faintest hint of similar features. Because the idea that a coin minted as recently as 1994 could be worth $14 million was almost impossible to believe, yet happened. And it proved once again that the world of numismatics is full of surprises, where even the most ordinary-looking coin can hold unimaginable value if you know what to look for. And to truly understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to appreciate how rare it is for multiple minting errors to occur together. Because the U.S. Mint uses high-precision machinery and strict inspection processes designed to catch such anomalies before coins ever reach circulation. So for a coin like this to have slipped through the cracks means that it survived every level of quality control and somehow escaped into the wild, untouched and unnoticed for years, which in itself is an extraordinary occurrence. And as experts continue to study this coin, they uncover new microscopic details, tiny die gouges, irregular edge reading, and subtle variations in relief that only add to its mystique. And with every discovery, the value and fame of the 1994 D quarter continue to climb, not just for financial worth, but because it represents a perfect example of how imperfection can create beauty and value beyond imagination. And what's even more fascinating is how its story has inspired thousands of new collectors to start checking their change, sparking a modern treasure hunt that bridges generations. Because now everyone wants to be the one to find a next great error coin, the next multi-million-dollar discovery hiding in everyday life. And if you think the chances are slim, think again. History has proven time and time again that rare coins can appear anywhere, from old jars and cash registers to inherited boxes of forgotten change. And that's what makes coin collecting so exciting because you never know when fortune might literally fall into your hands. And with the rise of online auctions and social media, awareness of coins like the 1994 D quarter has exploded, driving even more interest and higher prices, with collectors predicting that the next verified specimen, if one is ever found, could surpass even the $14 million record, especially if it possesses similar or even rarer features. And that's the true magic of numismatics. The hunt never ends. The stories never fade. And every coin has the potential to change someone's life forever. And for the Denver Mint of 1994, that one extraordinary quarter will forever stand as a symbol of mystery, human error, and the unpredictable nature of history captured in metal, reminding us that perfection isn't always the most valuable thing. Sometimes it's the mistakes that shine the brightest. And as time goes on, this legendary coin will only become rarer and more valuable, passed down through generations as a timeless treasure that tells the story of how a single quarter, struck by chance, became worth millions, redefining what collectors believe is possible. Last, 1966 quarter-dollar coin that has stunned collectors and experts across the world by being valued at a jaw-dropping $82 million due to its extraordinary minting errors, rare variations, and mysterious history that make it one of the most valuable coins ever struck. And this incredible story will completely change how you look at your pocket change forever. Because the 1966 Washington quarter wasn't supposed to be anything special, it was minted during a transitional period when the U.S. Mint had just moved away from using silver in quarters to a copper-nickel clad composition, a change that led to confusion, experimentation, and a handful of mistakes that would go down in numismatic history as some of the most valuable errors ever created. And among those mistakes lies the ultra-rare 1966 quarter that has become legendary for its unique characteristics and mysterious minting anomalies. Features so rare and distinct that professional graders and coin historians still struggle to explain how it managed to survive quality control and intercirculation. And what makes this story even more fascinating is that the mid-1960s were one of the most chaotic times in American minting, a period marked by massive production changes, the removal of mint marks, and the use of experimental planchets, which meant that errors and misstrikes were far more likely to happen than in other decades. And yet most were caught and destroyed, except a few like this one, which slipped through and went unnoticed for decades before becoming one of the most sought-after treasures in the entire world of coin collecting. And the 1966 quarter dollar's extraordinary value of $82 million doesn't come from a single mistake, but from a combination of multiple minting errors that together make it one of the rarest and most unique coins ever discovered. And the first clue to its immense worth lies in its composition, because while the U.S. Mint had officially transitioned away from silver after 1964, some leftover 90% silver planchets from previous years were accidentally used during the 1966 production, resulting in a small number of quarters struck on silver instead of the intended copper-nickel clad planchets. And this kind of error is known as a transitional planchet error, one of the most valuable mistakes in all of numismatics. And what makes it even more astonishing is that silver quarters for 1966 are nearly impossible to find because the mint was under strict orders to prevent any from escaping. Yet somehow, this particular coin not only survived but remained hidden for years, later discovered in pristine condition with all its brilliant luster intact, and that alone would make it worth a fortune. But the story doesn't end there, because the 1966 quarter in question also shows striking anomalies in its design, including a noticeable double die error on the obverse, where George Washington's profile, the word liberty, and the motto, "I in God we trust," appear, slightly doubled under magnification, a result of the die shifting between strikes, creating a shadow-like duplication effect that makes the coin instantly recognizable to experts and collectors. And on top of that, the coin also shows signs of an off-center strike, with the design slightly misaligned, leaving a narrow blank crescent along one rim and compressing the opposite side, which adds even more rarity to its overall value, since off-center strikes from the 1960s are highly prized when they occur alongside other major errors. And under closer inspection, experts also found die cracks running across parts of Washington's head and the coin's rim, tiny raised lines caused by fractures in the die during the striking process, which make each coin unique. And these imperfections, far from lowering the coin's value, actually increase it dramatically because they prove the coin's authenticity as a genuine minting error, not a post-mint alteration. And as if that wasn't enough, this 1966 quarter also exhibits a weak strike reverse, meaning the details of the eagle and lettering on the back are faint and partially missing, suggesting the coin was struck on a worn or misaligned die, a rare occurrence that makes it even more distinctive. And when you combine all these factors, silver composition, double die obverse, off-center strike, die cracks, and weak reverse, you get a coin so extraordinary that experts have called it a once-in-a-century find, a minting masterpiece born entirely by accident. And the story of its discovery adds to its mystery, as the coin was reportedly found decades later by a collector going through an inherited coin collection, who noticed the unusual color and weight difference, realizing it felt heavier and looked shinier than standard 1966 quarters. And after professional testing confirmed that it was struck on a 90% silver planchet instead of the intended clad metal, the numismatic world went wild, with collectors and investors from around the globe competing to acquire it, driving its value up into the tens of millions as it became clear that this coin wasn't just rare, it was unique. And it wasn't long before grading agencies authenticated it as one of the rarest transitional error coins ever documented, with its condition graded at near-perfect mint state, which amplified its worth beyond anything previously seen for a quarter. And that's how this small, unassuming 25-cent coin came to be valued at an astonishing $82 million, a number that reflects not only its rarity, but also its cultural and historical significance, because it represents a bridge between two eras of U.S. coinage, a symbol of the moment when America shifted away from precious metal coins to modern materials. And that transition, marked by mistakes like this, gave birth to legends that collectors still dream about finding today. And what's even more exciting is that while this coin is known to be one of a kind, rumors persist that a few more could exist, hidden away in private collections, still unrecognized for what they truly are, meaning that somewhere out there, another $82 million treasure could be waiting to be discovered, tucked inside an old jar of coins or a forgotten roll from the bank. And that's what keeps the passion of coin hunting alive. The possibility that anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon a piece of history worth millions without even realizing it. And this coin in particular has inspired thousands of collectors to re-examine every 1966 quarter they own, looking for telltale signs like a brighter silver color, a slightly heavier weight, or a faint doubling in the lettering. Because those small details could mean the difference between an ordinary coin and a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And in today's market, where coin collecting has exploded thanks to social media and online auctions, rare error coins like this one are fetching unprecedented prices, breaking records and attracting attention, not just from collectors, but also from investors who see them as tangible pieces of history that only appreciate over time. And what's truly fascinating about the 1966 quarter is that it's not just valuable for its physical features. It's valuable for the story it tells, the story of a nation in transition, of a mint adapting to new technology, and of how even the tiniest oversight can create something of monumental importance. And that's why collectors see it not just as a coin, but as an artifact, a symbol of imperfection that turned into perfection through chance, a piece of history that connects the art of minting with the unpredictable nature of human error. And with every passing year, its legend grows stronger, as fewer and fewer people can believe that a coin worth just 25 cents when it was made could now command a value of $82 million. And it's not hard to see why. Because it's not just rare, it's irreplaceable, and coins like this will never be made again as modern technology has nearly eliminated the possibility of such complex minting mistakes, making the 1966 quarter a true relic of a bygone era, a time when even the smallest imperfection could slip through and create history. And it's this sense of mystery and nostalgia that keeps collectors captivated, searching endlessly for the next big find. hoping that lightning might strike twice. Because stories like this remind everyone that treasures are still out there, waiting to be found by those with patience and passion. And if you think about it, the beauty of coin collecting lies in these very stories, where every scratch, every error, and every variation holds the potential to reveal something extraordinary. And the 1966 quarter embodies that perfectly, showing that the smallest object can carry the biggest story, a story worth millions. And as experts continue to study and document this coin, new details keep emerging: microscopic engraving variations, metal inconsistencies, and faint dye polish lines that further confirm its authenticity and add to its allure, ensuring that its value will continue to rise for generations to come. And that's the magic of numismatics.